Hello and welcome everybody to the ocean and water pitch. You need to put your earphones on, actually. Okay, everybody put on your earphones and then you'll be able to hear me. Okay, nice. Welcome everybody, bienvenue. How are you? People at the back, how's the energy? Saturday afternoon, post-lunch, little dance. Okay, in the middle, how are you? Good. And at the front, how are we doing? Okay, super. So, it all starts with clean water. It's what keeps us and the planet healthy. And we desperately need solutions for water scarcity, water pollution, overfishing, coral reef bleaching. Today, we're gonna meet 10 ventures which have solutions working on this key challenge of ocean and water. They are all gonna pitch their solutions in 3 minutes, 180 seconds, to our superstar jury members at the front, who are at the end gonna choose their coup de cœur, their favorite of the initiatives, but all get the chance to network and connect afterwards. My name's Nick. I'm your maître d'ambiance for today, the MC. I'm also the co-founder of Changemaker Exchange, which is all about finding the next generation of young social entrepreneurs. Okay, without further ado, I'd love to invite the jury members to very quickly introduce yourselves in maybe one sentence, who you are, and then pass the microphone along. Okay, starting with you.
Thanks, Nick. Hi, everybody. So my name is Christian Lim. I'm the managing director of Swen Blue Ocean, and we invest in startups, innovations that help regenerate ocean health.
Thank you.
Hi, Claude Fromageau. I'm from Respect Ocean, a non-profit organization dedicated to sustainability and a solution for ocean.
Great, thank you.
And my name's Ed Phillips. I'm a partner at Future Planet Capital. We're a global impact-led venture capital firm investing in healthcare, education, and climate change. And we've just launched the Ocean Fund with the government of Monaco.
Thanks, Ed.
Hi, my name is Valerie Bollier. I'm a member of Impact Business Angel, and I'm as well involved in Ocean Hub Africa, which is an accelerator that helps companies involved, of course, in protecting the ocean ecosystem.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. So, here's how it's going to work. We're going to invite each venture to the stage. After 3 minutes is passed, you're going to hear a gong in your ears, which means their time is up. And I will extremely politely cut them at this point and invite the next venture to the stage. So first of all, we have a wind propulsion system that saves up to 45% of carbon emissions. I want you to give a super warm, enthusiastic Saturday Paris welcome for AYRO. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah. Good afternoon and thank you for being here today. I'm Romain Gransart and I will speak about AYRO. Today the maritime shipping emits about 1 billion tons of CO2 a year. This is comparable to Germany. And this could be doubled by 2050. In this context, the technologies leveraging the wind are very interesting because they are the only one enabling a double-digit percentage of fuel savings, and they are ready to be installed on board vessels. AYRO designs and manufactures the ocean wings. This is a two-element wing sail which is patented, fully automated and lowerable. The design has been initiated in 2010 with the America's Cup for designing the BMW Trimaran, which won the race. We then had 10 years of R&D with the first prototype in 2016, 2 industrial demonstrators of 10 meter high installed on board Energy Observer. This is a laboratory catamaran of zero emission, and it has been sailing for the past 3 years now with a lot of data collection all around the world, and it has confirmed our design, the reliability and the performance of the system. End of 2020, we signed the Canopy contract. It's a ship that will ship the Ariane 6 components from Europe to French Guiana. And we will supply 4 full-scale ocean wings of 33 meters high by the end of the year. The operating principles are rather simple. We have sensors measuring the wind, and our algorithm is analyzing those data in real time to set the best possible trimming with our electrical actuators. The aerodynamic profile is inspired from the aeronautics industry, and the performance is twice as conventional sails. This is one of the most versatile and performant systems of the market, and we can install several ocean wings on board a vessel, which enable more than which enable up to 45% of fuel savings. So we can have a significant impact by 2030 of several 100,000 tons of CO2 to be saved. And to do that, we are today 35 people working at AYRO, gathering a lot of skills, almost all kinds of engineering fields, naval architecture, with Mark van Petegem, who is our co-founder and who co-founded VPLP, and all key competencies from industry, of course, and also shipping. Thank you so much for your attention. Wish you a nice speech session. Thank you, bye.
Thank you so much, AYRO. Great start and exactly 3 minutes. Next up, we have an initiative which is establishing vertically integrated land-based farms at scale. This is Blue Water Farm. Welcome.
That's great. Can you hear me? Yeah, that's great. So welcome to Blue Water Farm. So, hang on, we just need to go back one.
Red will take you back, green forward.
It's the wrong deck. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to go for it. Okay. So what do? Blue Water Farms. We are building vertically integrated, indoor, warm weather shrimp farms. We're leveraging proven technology combined with AI, ML, and data analytics to drive future farming of the future. We're doing this will allow us to produce hormone and antibiotic-free shrimp that will be produced locally and will have provenance and traceability. And we aim to build these farms in Europe and in North America. So why are we doing this? We're doing this for continuous reasons. You all know about continuous population growth. What's it, 9 billion by 2025? There is a significant demand for healthy food as people move away from meat into alternative proteins such as fish and plant-based food. On top of that, people want to know where their food has come from. We want to also protect the oceans. And Blue Water Farm, for every kilo of wild shrimp that is caught, 6 kilograms of fish is thrown back into the sea. Land-based pond farming, which now covers over 2 million hectares globally, is used for the destruction of mangrove swamps. Those destructions of the mangrove swamps are our nurseries of tomorrow. On top of that, COVID, Ukraine, the issue of food security and locally produced food is growing again. On top of that, we also have the issue around economics and actually being able to deliver factories locally in domestic countries that produces labor and skill sets. So I'm going to I apologize for this. I'm going to skip through this because it's a wrong pack. So our phase is 3-phase approach. The first phase is to acquire up to 40% of a proven global technology provider who've already produced and have a scaled up unit of 150 metric tons. Phase 2 is to produce or build a farm of 800 metric tons in the UK and 800 metric tons in North America. And stage 3 is then to grow and scale those farms globally. The opportunity out there is that currently we use 7.28 million metric tons of shrimp per annum, and the aquaculture sector is growing at a rate of 20%. In North America, the market is 900,000 metric tons, and in Europe is 285,000 metric tons. So we are going to take up less than 0.1% of the market. Huge opportunities. In terms of revenue, the combined two farms will give us a revenue of approximately 40 million. It will give us an EBITDA of 12 million, which is an operating margin of 52% and a gross margin of 35%. And the ask is, we're looking for 29 million euros to support the acquisition of the tech partner and the building of the first two farms. Thank you. And I apologize for not having the slides.
Thank you so much, and super well improvised without the slides and a very clear ask. Thank you. Okay, so next up, novel seaweed-derived materials to replace plastic packaging. Welcome, your time to shine, FlexSea Limited.
Hello everyone, thank you. Thank you for being here. My name is Carlos, CEO and co-founder of FlexSea, and I'm here to tell you how, by using seaweed, we will redefine bioplastics. So, as you probably know, there is a huge plastic problem in the world. Roughly 95% of plastics are used once and then thrown away. And before even delving into the environmental issues, let's just have a talk about the economic issues, which are not often looked at. Throwing away 95% of plastics means every year literally throwing away $100 billion of material value after having used it just once. But back to the environmental issue. A lot of plastic doesn't end up where it should be. Every year, roughly 12 million tons end up in the oceans, and as these biodegrade and decompose over time, they become nanoplastics and microplastics. They make their way up the food chain, up bioaccumulating all the way in the fish, and they make their way to us, to the point where if you're eating seafood, you may be eating as much as 1 credit card worth of plastic every month. That is absolutely disgusting, and we need to change this. We produce around 380 million tons of plastic waste every year, and this number is predicted to double by 2034. We need a solution where recycling not being a viable solution, and with existing bioplastics not really delivering on the promises. They're either derived unsustainably or they are not truly compostable. We need a solution, and to us, the solution is called FlexSea. FlexSea is our patent-pending technology comprising of a biomaterial derived from red seaweed, which can replace single-use, flexible plastic packaging in both food and non-food applications. It is completely transparent and heat sealable. In essence, we like to call this a seamless solution to plastic pollution. As we always say, people love innovation but hate change. And this will not change how people interact with plastic, it will change how plastic interacts with the world. We plan to be on the commercial side towards the end of the year. Next year, we're still in the laboratory, and we recently closed a pre-seed round last month, which will allow us to enter into better lab facilities and to expand the team. Which is why we are here today to connect with investors that can help us raise our future seed round by the end of the year and look at commercial partners and production partners, both in the industry and in the seaweed world, where we can source more red seaweed and more red seaweed biopolymers to make our idea a reality. Additionally, we're also looking for future customers and letters of intent that can help us bring this to market efficiently, and for companies that are aligned with our values and our mission to make nature a better place because of how we can replace plastic. And really plastic, this material which we all use and which we all love, but it's even too good for what we use it. We don't need to use a material that will last 1,000 years for applications that really only take a week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month. This is us at FlexSea. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carlo. Brilliant. Okay, we have 2 more solutions in this round. The next one is all about protecting the marine ecosystem using garbage boats and river platforms. Super curious to hear more. Everwave, welcome to the stage.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Clemens Feigl. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Everwave, which is a German startup based in Aachen. And this is what we're doing. We're giving value to this waste. This picture was taken in February in one of our project sites in Bosnia. And you see hundreds of tons of waste which could possibly enter up in the ocean. And we want to change that. And we're using a very, very holistic approach for that with 4 key elements, which is combining detection of waste. We use drones and lightweight planes to detect and find plastic hotspots in certain regions. Therefore, we are able to get our garbage collection systems there more efficient. There you can see our garbage collection boat Collectix, which is able to collect up to 20 tons per day. And we have another system which is called HIVEX. It's a stationary platform to collect all day long without any energy source. And the best about it is that they are both labeled to the Solar Impulse Foundation. And both of the technologies also use AI. We are not only collecting waste, we are also collecting data because there's huge lack of knowledge of what we find in waterways. And therefore, we also can be more efficient at the end in the recycling process because in the moment we collect the waste, we know what we got, how many bottles, how many bags. And of course, then we can sort it and sell it to local recyclers on land to earn money with it. And the most important thing to me is inspiration, education, because if we want to change the situation in general, we have to change the behavior of people. So that's what we're doing as well. In Cambodia, for example, we are working with schools and educate people to change their behavior. And the question obviously is, how do we earn money with that? And how do we get all these activities combined? And the answer is plastic credit. We offer plastic offsetting to companies, to corporates, to producers, that they are able to take responsibility for their own waste, for their waste of the employees, and therefore create change. There are many companies who are tired of planting trees, actually, and we are offering something different for them. And we have quite good partners at the moment. We are growing, the wave is growing. We are searching for corporates who want to join our way and create visible impact. That's what we're doing. This is a lake in Bosnia. It's around 120 tons, you can see there, and 4 weeks later it was empty. So that's what we're doing. This is everwave. Feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay, so the last pitch of this round, offering carbon credits through its own innovation for safe drinking water. This is HELIOZ. Welcome, HELIOZ.
Thank you very much. I need one hand more, but it's okay. Actually, we are a social enterprise coming from Austria. Wrong place to get social impact investment, that's how it is, but that's why we are here. What do we do? Actually, we come from the water purification. We work on solar water disinfection. What is this? You place transparent bottles in the sun, yeah? Bottles like this, glass or PET, and wait until UVA and UVB kills protozoars, bacteria and viruses. You just don't know how long it takes. So there, our little gadget come into place. It's just a UV measurement device. You press one button, it's solar powered, it's a UV sensor, and wait until a smiley appear, which means water is safe to drink. It's WHO tested, 99.999% of protozoars, viruses and bacteria are killed. So we work in different areas, actually. We work in CSR programs, but where does the money come really from? In the areas where we work, especially in India, Bangladesh and Uganda, we have so-called CO2 certification processes. You see again our technology, yeah? How it is working. Actually, what we do now, currently, because we are really a social impact company, and I hear a lot about social impact investment these days, great, but we are doing social impact. Currently, 500 million liters of safe drinking water, 355,000 beneficiaries, 125 tons of CO2 emission saved. We work in 9 to 10 SDGs. We do women empowerment, wash training. We do social behavior change in the rural areas. We work at the base of the pyramid. Our beneficiaries do get our technology for free. So why invest in us? We're currently rolling out 50,000 households in India. 2 tons per household per year, CO2 saving, gold standard certified, 12 to 15 euros per ton. We made investment round to scale it up to 150,000 tons in India. We work in Uganda as well. We can scale it up quite easily, and it's a business case behind it. Current prices we are selling CO2 certificates is 12 to 15 euros. 2 tons per household, just calculate it. Yeah? We have the technology, we have the team to do it. We work with local partners. When we do 50,000 households, we create more than 200 jobs in the local area, in the rural areas where we are working. Thank you.
stay there, actually, and I'm also going to invite the other first 4 ventures back to the stage.
I need my...
Okay, yes. Yes, bring your earphones, please. Okay. Now, how it's going to work, jury members, I'm going to ask for one short, sharp question to each initiative. So let's try and make it so that everyone gets one question, and then we're going to change and have the last 5 ventures. So you decide who goes first and who you want to fire it to. And audience members, you can also think, what would you like to ask to each of these, and then grab them in the networking area afterwards. So,
yes, I'll start with the FlexSea. Yeah, hi. I'd be, for this alternative product to be really successful. I understand. I believe it needs to be competitive on both performance and price. So, can you tell us about the barrier capacities compared to existing solutions, especially for food, and competitiveness in terms of price? Thank you.
Thank you. So,
and can we all move up a little, please, for the camera?
So to start on the barrier capacities, so obviously our material is home compostable, which means it will take in water and degrade. So barrier to water and the water vapor is not our strongest asset. But really, it doesn't want to be, because if it were the best, most water-resistant material, we would not degrade in nature. So that's why we're targeting dry applications at first, and that's the target market we're going into, both food and non-food. Looking at oxygen barriers, however, we do outperform LDPE films, so we do have a better barrier to that. And price competitiveness, right now we are more expensive than petroleum-based plastics. We average around $8 to $9 per kilogram, whereas petroleum-based plastics are around $3. However, in the future, you could see petroleum-based plastics price increase, and with advancement in R&Ds, we will decrease. And additionally, we also plan to go into the actual extraction of the biopolymer, which means we can co-extract other valuable resources from the seaweed other than the biopolymers that we use, and thus decrease the price that we're paying for our ingredient. So the margin and the difference between petroleum and us will significantly decrease going forwards. Thanks.
Okay, my question's for AYRO. Can you retrofit these sails onto any vessel that exists already? And what is the payback period for a commercial vessel, shipping vessel?
Thank you for the question. Most of the vessels can be retrofitted with our wing sail. The deck footprint is really limited. For instance, for a canopy, we have a deck footprint of 2.5 meters of diameter, which is quite compact. The pedestal has been designed to be welded on the deck, which make also the retrofit quite easy. Of course, for some vessels like container ship, it's more challenging, and new build approach will be the best for almost all kind of system. And the second question, sorry? The payback period. Payback period, of course, depends on the type of vessel you're retrofitting, the sailing route and the weather conditions you will have, but also the speed of the vessel. Today, we are between 3 to 6, 7 years, depending, of course, of the routes. Unfortunately, the recent new developments has shown that the fuel price can go really high compared to the level we were 2 years ago. Carbon tax is also about to come. There are EU ETS to start next year. And in this context, and also looking at the next alternative fuel to come in place, the green fuel will be much more expensive. If you look at green hydrogen, for instance, you can be at $7,000 a ton. So the payback period, the return on investment, will very likely improve over the years, and we are today at a very strong business case. What's very interesting for that...
I'm going to have to wrap that now, but I think you answered it super clearly anyway. Thank you. Okay. Next question. Thanks.
I have a question for everwave. So basically, you're collecting the waste on the surface, but do you also have a solution for the old waste, the one that we can find at the bottom of it?
Not yet, but we're talking to them. I don't know how they're called. There's another technology. We already talked about getting their system on our boats. So they are working on sea floor. I think they are working till up to 6 meters deep. So that's interesting to us because the dams we are working in are not way deeper. That's an option, but what we experience is that most of the waste is floating And the earlier we get it out of the water, the better it is.
Yeah, but because the older one gets down, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to offer a solution where you can say that the water is really clean.
Yeah, but the boat is capable of diving into, or the front belt is capable of going deep, like 1 meter. So it's all right for us.
Okay, for Blue Water Farm, how you manage you work your business model without any antibiotic, but how you manage some possibility of disease for shrimp possibly?
Yeah, so the first thing about Blue Water Farm is the water is clear, and because it's in a completely sealed system, and you have a water management process, it's actually crystal clear water. And we make our own seawater. Using existing seawater has too much too much mercury and plastics already within it. It's actually better to make your own seawater using fresh water and then mixing that with your own salt to give you that. So you've actually got a virgin water system to put the shrimp into. And that means is if you have biofloc, which is a dirty farm or a pond, you've got birds flying over that shit into the ponds in the open door system. And because it's murky and the fish are shitting into those ponds, it creates a huge amount of toxic waste. Therefore, they have to use antibiotics. They have to use hormones to kill those diseases in the water. Because we don't have any of those issues, we have clean water. Therefore, we don't have to use antibiotics.
Okay, thank you. And then one last question for HELIOZ from any of you.
I've got a question for HELIOZ. So, do you rely on the voluntary CO2 market presumably at the moment? And then is there a route to certification for your carbon credits?
Sorry.
So I guess you currently rely on the voluntary carbon credit market, but is there a route to certification for you?
We see the voluntary carbon market, but there's some rumors that the gold standard might be, or let's say the emission right market might be open to gold standard. We see that. We work in India. There we are actually stakeholders in the current development of the cap and trade market. It will be a mixture between voluntary and emission market. So there we see a lot of potential there. Because they have to have their own system, and they would like to include both. We see the development, I think, over the next 10 years definitely for a voluntary carbon market. We see the prices going up. Strange things, removal is higher than reduction what we do, but that's a market issue.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to next hear from the next 4 ventures. So thank you. Okay, so 4 more ventures to come. Also going to be pitching in 3 minutes to our jury. The first one is an eco-friendly technology removing oil and plastic from the seabed by means of air bubbles. Fascinated to hear more? PurOceans technology. Welcome to the stage. Big warm welcome, everyone, please.
My name is Alena Stepanova. I'm representing PurOceans Technology, a startup with the mission to clean sea floors around the world. So, tons of oil and plastics enter global waters annually. And the problem is that 60% of it sinks down to the water body's floor, residing there and killing everything around. And destroying algae, which is the most produce the most oxygen around the world. The problem with the bottom cleaning is that there is not so many solutions available at the market apart from excavation and chemical treatment, which is very barbaric and cause a long-term negative impact on the environment. So we have a solution to this problem. We able to lift oil and plastic from seabed by means of only air bubbles and pressure, without using any chemicals, without using any substances or mechanical treatments. And it's quite a simple technology. We simply infuse air into the oil sediments. The oil sediments get separated from the oil sediments get separated from sand and soil, get stick to the air bubble, and air bubble brings it up in a natural way where we collect it in a controllable way. So this method help us to avoid a classical method of excavation. It helps us to lift pure pollution without sand and soil, which allow us to cut the budget on the cleaning project by 60–80%. This is our current prototype on the TLRS 7.8, which is the floating device with the hardware in the shape of an umbrella, which submerges under the water. The technology was validated in a number of pilots, and we was able to collect and lift tons of oil and remove 98% of oil from the bottom of water body of the lake. So our technology is able to speed up the rehabilitation of the water bodies by infusing air, oxygen at the bottom where there is a lack of oxygen due to the pollution, and by mixing water layers. This process brings an immense sustainable impact on the recovery of the water body and help to prevent the anomalies on the fish. So in total, our solution is the eco-friendly technology, which is totally safe for the environment and underwater life, which is the most cost-effective method available at the market with the lowest cost of utilization. Yes, and it helps to avoid penalties, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you. Great pitch. And next up, we have 3D printed modular reef structures to rebuild degraded coral reefs. Welcome to the stage. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ulrike. I'm co-founder and CEO at Reefs. And when I float on a coral reef, I mean, I'm just in awe and in humility, usually. But sometimes I get angry and sad because I know that before we all die, coral reefs will basically be wiped off the surface of this planet. And with them, about a quarter of all life in the oceans. The problem is that on dying reefs, we are losing a lot of their three-dimensional structure. And as a result of that, lots of reef animals lose their shelter, biodiversity drops, and then it's very hard for the reef to recover. At Reefs, we rebuild that structure scientifically, with high biodiversity gains, and ready for you to invest in. And this is our current prototype. It's a modular system, 3D printed from clay, with the newest technology. And we can stack these modules directly underwater to, really build any shape that we like, adapt it to the local topography, redirect currents. And the surfaces of our bricks are specifically designed to help young coral settle down and regrow coral populations. The resource-saving design of our modules provides new shelter for thousands of different reef animals, re-establishing that natural ecosystem balance. And we've actually built our first reef last year in September in the Colombian Caribbean in an island called San Andres. And see for yourself what this reef has achieved in a short amount of time. Here it's been in the water 3 months. With a scientific fish count, we've counted in 5 minutes 38 different fish species on this reef and 39 on the natural reef. So already we had achieved a fish diversity that rivals the natural reef. But how can we turn this into a sustainable business model? Biodiversity credits for companies. So just like carbon credits plant trees, our credits rebuild reefs. And once we've given out enough credits, we build a reef, then we provide proof of the development of biodiversity in your reef, and will also provide you with everything you need to communicate your engagement for a healthy ocean, both inward and outward. I'm very lucky to be part of this all-female power team that really has achieved incredible things in the last year, and I'm very grateful for that. But, look at us. We really need some funding to increase the diversity in our team a little bit now. And so we're looking, we're looking for major brand partners, also B2B customers and business angels that share our vision of a healthy ocean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ulrike. Brilliant. Okay, 2 more pitches this round. Next up, opening lines with sailing boats. I'd love to welcome SAILCOOP. Welcome.
Hello, everybody, everyone. It's strange to not hear me, but it's working. I will tell you a little story about SAILCOOP, a story of one of the 100 of possible rides with us tomorrow. So I ask you to close your eyes, please, if you can. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. You're here in Paris. You decide to go to Corsica tomorrow. So you open your Google map and you choose to use a Vélib, a train, and last but not least, a sailing boat. You just arrived in Marseille. It's midday and you can see cumulus clouds in the sky. Perfect for sea breeze. You jump on deck and that's it. You are on board of the SAILCOOP sailboat with a friend. You meet other travelers and you will cross soon to Corsica. The weather forecasts are good and the skipper do a little security briefing. It's time to dock off. You hoist the mainsail, unroll the Genoa, and off you go, 6 knots on the road. Some learn to helm with the skippers, others open a book. You prepare for the coming night. The sun goes down with almost a green light, and one of the crew travelers decides to make tea for everyone. Some go to bed, but you decide to stay on deck to chat with the skipper. He tells you a story of pirates and how to find your way with the stars. And then the dolphin arrived, playing with the bow of the boat. These shapes are incredible. The bioluminescent plankton covering the shadow of this fabulous mammal. You decide after that to go for a little nap. 6 hours after, we are the early morning, the boat is close to Corsica. Land in sight, tells the skippers. In the horizon, the mountain with the snow that we would like to be eternal. It's so beautiful. And then the citadel of Calvi, famous for its magnificent parties with Tao. You set foot on land, and after 24 hours, disconnected from the world, from the noise of man, and reconnected to the essential, to nature, to this magnificent theater offered use by the sea and its contemplation, you are ready to be the next traveler with SAILCOOP. And icing of the cake, you haven't understood how the wind works now. So that's it. You can open your eyes and go to SAILCOOP now to book a new place to the next travel at the end of May. Otherwise, we need you guys to buy, refit, build new sailing boats to propose this solution around the world and democratize the use of wind to move. Thank you.
Thank you for the storytelling there. Okay, so last up in this round of pitches, and we have here today as an Ocean Pitch Challenge winner, which was part of Respect Ocean too, we have Finsulate France, which is a sustainable anti-fouling which replaces toxic paint. Welcome, Finsulate France.
Hello, I'm delighted to be with you today to show you how a sea urchin can be a great source of inspiration to help us preserve our common resource, the ocean. But before, I would like to talk to you about painting. Imagine yourself in a marina and you see a person on the pontoon throwing a kind of paint into the sea. You will, of course, call him crazy. Well, it's exactly the same when you apply anti-fouling paint to the hull of your boat. This paint ends up in the sea slowly and surely. And these invisible particles are just invisible to us from the surface. But let's go back to our friend the sea urchin. It has many spines which serve as a defense. And this means that an organism cannot reach its carapace and stay on top. Nature is often the best teacher. Just before, this sea urchin is also invisible to us from the surface. And the Dutch researcher Rick Breur has found a solution, an alternative to this toxic paint to replace. And it's reproducing the properties of the spines of the sea urchin in a form of small fibers. Can I show it to you? And this is how Finsulate was born. This is a unique self-adhesive that is applied directly to the hull. And Finsulate has now a lifespan of at least 5 years. Its maintenance is clean and easy by brushing or high pressure jet. And the protection is mechanical and not chemical. Almost 1,000 boats in the world already benefit from the Finsulate solution. And professionals and boaters who are aware of their impact on the ocean has decided to be actors of change by adopting Finsulate as an alternative solution. So I'm Marion Padiolo, entrepreneur with a passion of the marine world. I launched a startup to create and develop innovative and respectful solutions for the ocean. But everything I just told you will make a real difference if you too are proud to be generous with the nature. So to increase your pleasure of boating with the greatest respect for nature, choose Finsulate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marion. You can stay here also, and then I'll invite the other 3 ventures back. Okay, please get your headset. Okay, and then same flow again. We will ask for 1 quick, sharp question. Please no 2 questions hidden in 1 question, or like some jury members sometimes do, for each venture, please.
Yeah, for BOSAQ. My question is concerns the credit and the offsetting for biodiversity. Are you afraid a little bit about the possibility of speculation? Because for carbon we see that it's some side effect of carbon offsetting. Then it could be the same with biodiversity, no?
Yeah, just to clarify, BOSAQ is not here.
This is reefs. Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. So far, I mean, the first batches of our credits will not be tradable. That kind of reduces the risk of speculation there. But you know, unless, what was I going to say? As long as you're transparent with what's inside the credit, quantify the biodiversity, regularly update, be transparent what happens on these reefs, then that's the baseline for everything. I'm not sure how that can lead to speculation, but what I would be afraid of in terms of offsetting is that really we don't want to allow more destruction elsewhere, right? Because we can rebuild something that's probably less good than a really healthy natural reef. But it's a way, right now it's mostly a way for companies to communicate inward and outward. We've noticed with our first corporate customer that they're mostly interested in also rallying their employees around this cause of helping biodiversity.
Thank you. Okay, next question.
I have a question for PurOceans. So when you're bubbling the air up through the water, is there any side effects? Does anything else come up, or is there anything that you don't expect to happen that might be negative for the ocean as well as the oil?
For the plants or for the reef.
For the plants, yeah. The reef, exactly. Or, you know, things like bicarbonates, like carbon stores.
Yeah. So the technology was developed by microbiology scientists, and so the technology is able to lift only elements of particular density, not living organisms. We haven't tested with corals, but that's why I cannot really assure you. But the air bubbles is not able to damage the underwater life because it's a natural organic part of the of the ecosystem basically.
It was more the pressure that
yeah.
may have an effect on the corals or.
We haven't tested with the corals, as I mentioned. We can test it and see it, but the pressure can be adjustable as well, and it's focused. Yeah, it's targeting the polluting like elements of particular, as I mentioned, density. We're not able. It was actually a question before if we're able to lift fertilizers or organic organisms. It's not possible with in this kind of with this method that it's used. So, but it would be great to test it with. Corals to have a like pilot test and see how we can solve it, because as I mentioned, the part of the co-founders are the microbiology scientists, and they would be happy to address this issue.
I have a question for Arthur, because thank you very much for the 3 minutes of meditation in the middle of this, but I want to know more about your product, your business model.
Yes,
if you can tell, be more practical, it would be great.
Not in 1 minute, but
I know.
No, but we have different way to with SAILCOOP. For the first is to go to Corsica and to go on Mediterranean Sea with one boat. We have only one boat for now. We do little I do think in Lita. We were crowdfunding in Lita Branco. It's a French and we try to have more money for buying boat, for refitting boat. And to do more travel between Barcelona to Ibiza, to cross the Atlantic, and then in 5-10 years maybe to have a big boat, sailing boat with a lot of low tech inside, and to experiment more the planet boundaries with sailing. And the idea of SAILCOOP is that all the territories, all the local people work on it and be part of it too. So it's a very yes. And we are 10 to work on it. Me, I'm president of the board, and I'm not executive on this company because I'm an offshore sailor. But we have 10 people working on it, and I have all the numbers of. If you want, I give you that.
Thank you. Okay, last question for Finchley, France, please.
Yes, thank you. So clearly we see the benefits of what your proposal. There is one risk that comes to my mind. It's the leakage of the material that the layer that you're producing is made of. So how do you how have you assessed the risk of that in particular, since it's been installed for 5 years already? Have you looked at the weight at installation and the weight after 5 years of this product?
Yeah, and actually in the real life, the first boat who has been applied with Finsulate, it was 9 years ago. And it has been hauled out, and the fibers were still on. And we just made some repairs that can happen if you crash a piece of wood or something in the water. But the fibers are really sticky on the liner, and of course it's impossible to say that it's 100%. We can't say that, but when you come, it's less than 1% for sure. But when you compare with the 100 million of liters of paint dumped every year in the world, in the sea, so Finsulate is a real good solution. It's not perfect, and we need to brush it. We need to maintain it, but at least it's not a pollution.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. I really enjoyed that session. Thank you for some super sharp questions. We're going to invite all of you to the networking area, and jury members, you will be asked to choose one coup de cœur. Thank you very much, Pitches. That was excellent. Okay, we're going to have around 8-minute break until the next session on education. Thank you, everyone.